Hey everyone! In this lesson, what we're going to go through is how to solve worded problems involving simultaneous equations. Okay, so when we're solving worded problems, use the following steps. So we have to read the question carefully, identify the variables that we are going to use the variables to write the simultaneous equations from the information given in the problem, solve the equations using appropriate methods, whether that be graphical, substitution or elimination, and make a conclusion statement that links the answer back to the question. Okay, so in example 1, we have this question. So at an art show, there were 520 guests. If there are 46 more women than men, how many women attended? Okay, so our two variables here is we don't know how many men there are, and we don't know how many women there are. So, let's identify the variables. So, I'm going to let W be the number of women, and I'm going to let M be the number of men. These are our two variables. Our next step is to then use variables to write simultaneous equations. So what we have in the question is at an art studio there's 520 guests. So that means no matter if they're male or female, women or men, there are 520 guests. So the addition of women plus men equals 520 people. Okay, and then secondly, if there are 46 more women than men, how many women attended? So there are 46 more women than men. So men plus 46 equals women. Okay, so there are 46 more women than men. Yeah. Cool, so these are our two equations. Now we have to use an appropriate method to solve that. Okay, so going back up, solve the equations using appropriate methods. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use substitution of 2 into 1. Okay, I'm going to find out how many men there are, and then I'm going to find out how many women. So, so substitute 2 into 1. So where the women are, W, I'm going to replace that with M plus 46. So M plus 46 plus M equals 520. That's going to be 2M plus 46 equals 520. And then I'm going to solve this two-step equation. So minus 46 on both sides, leaving us with 2M equals 520 minus 46, which is 474. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2, leaving us with M equals 237. Okay, so there are 237 men, but our question says how many women attended. So I'm going to substitute. I'm going to go across here. Substitute M equals 237 into, I'm going to put it into equation 2. So our W, our women, equals 237 plus 46, which equals 283. Okay, so how many women attended? There are 283 women attending. So therefore, 283 women attended the art show. Okay, so when in a test, please don't forget to include your statement. However, in Khan Academy, all it wants is the answers. Okay, Yeah, or it helps you make the statement. Okay. Next question. Anita and Ben spent $931 on shrubs and trees for their new home. Altogether, they bought 70 plants. The shrubs cost $11 each, while the trees cost $18 each. How many of each plant did they buy? Sorry. Okay, so I've read the question. We have they both spent $936 on shrubs and trees. Altogether, they bought 70 plants. The shrubs cost $11 each, and the trees cost $18 each. How many plants? How many of each plant? Each plant. So our variable here is going to be the shrubs and the trees. Okay, so I'm going to first highlight what my variables are. So let's do x and y. X equal the number of shrubs, and let y equal the number of trees. You can use S and T as well to highlight shrubs and trees, or you can use any letter at all, as long as you refer back to that at the end, okay? Sorry. Okay, so I've identified the variables being used. Now we need to use those variables to write the simultaneous equations from the information given in the problem. Okay, so we have the total number of plants bought is 70. So our x, our number of shrubs, plus our number of trees equals 70 plants. Okay, this is our equation 1. We also know the cost of each plant. So $11 each for shrubs and $18 each for each tree. And if we added those up, that would give us $931. So we can write that as a as an equation of 11 times each shrub, so 11 times x, plus $18, 18 times the number of trees, y. And that total cost will be $931. That's equation 2. So now that we have the two equations, we can use this. We can now solve. Okay, so what method should we use here? Okay, so the top one doesn't have any coefficients, so I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to use the elimination method. I'm actually going to use substitution after some manipulation. Or let's use elimination, but you could use substitution for this as well. So using elimination, I would times the first one by 11 to make the x variables the same. Okay, so that would become 11x plus 11y equals 70 times 11, which is 770. Okay, so this is one changed, so I'm going to do that one apostrophe. And I'm going to put the 2 underneath so it's easy to see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 minus 1. And I'm going to do that because the numbers here are bigger, so I'm going to keep it positive. So that gets rid of this. This will become 18y minus 11y, which equals 7y. And the 931 minus 770 equals 161. So from that, 7y equals 161. Divide 7 on both sides. Y equals 23. Okay, so going back to what our y means, our y is the number of trees. Therefore, we have 23 trees. But our question asks us how much of each plant did they buy. Okay, so we also have to find the number of shrubs. Okay, so to find the number of shrubs, I'm going to substitute y equals 23 into our original first equation. Okay, so x plus 23 equals 70 minus 23 on both sides, x equals 47. Therefore, we have 47 shrubs. So, let's conclude this. Therefore, Anita and Ben bought 23 trees and 47 shrubs. Okay, and that's it for the examples today. If you have any further questions, please go onto Jamboard or message me in the private comments. Good luck with the questions.